candidate may have a 1-minute rebuttal. Candidates will at the end have 3 minutes for a closing statement. Our timer will hold up a timer. Karen Waltham there. She will hold up a sign 30 seconds before the candidate's time expires, and again when the time has expired. And most of the time, candidates are very good at stopping. But if you don't, you will. Now, on to the questions. And how did we determine who was going to go first? Well, it's very easy. We tossed a coin. And we will open with Councilor Pratt. Wait a minute, oh yes, you need your statement.
Whoops. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Your opening statement.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this great forum tonight. My name is Jonathan Paz, and I'm a Waltham City Councilor. I was born and raised in Waltham to a family of Bolivian immigrants in the South Side. I come from humble upbringings, and I'm truly grateful for the generosity this city showed me and my family. I was the first in my family to go to college, where I went to the University of Pennsylvania on a full scholarship and studied economics. I'm a former educator, a labor representative by trade, and am currently a public policy advocate in the State House, working on many issues for the people. I'm running for mayor because I think Waltham is an amazing city with great potential. I also believe 20 years is long enough for any administration. My campaign has set the vision for the following priorities: making our roads safer by modernizing our public transit, world-class schools that set our children up for success, investing in a real planning department to proactively and not just reactively maintain our roads, sidewalks, and buildings, a Fernald that has all 200 acres open and accessible to the public and addresses the need of the people. Although our city is beautiful, we face many serious challenges. Housing prices continue to skyrocket, our schools are being mismanaged, and the lack of planning is threatening our future. It's getting harder and harder to afford to live in this city. Tonight I ask you, the public, what vision for Waltham's future do you hold? Ask yourself, can we really rely on the current administration to steer us in that direction? Ask yourself, has 2 decades of unchanging leadership truly translated into a brighter future for both me and my family? This election will write the next chapter of this city's history. Your vote will mean the difference between Waltham becoming another unaffordable extension of Boston, or Waltham becoming the city we know it can be: safe, sustainable, and affordable. Thank you.
Mayor McCarthy.
This is what I love about Waltham. From a town in 1738 to a city in 1884, Waltham has blossomed into the best place to live in Massachusetts, according to Money Magazine in 2018. Waltham's people are instrumental in our success, including our veterans who secured our freedoms. We are proud, hardworking, caring, generous, and diverse community. We love that. Waltham's location is key to its economic success and its diversified economy. Local and worldwide businesses, hotels, and brain power are attracted to Waltham. Bentley Brandeis 8 new public schools with dedicated staff and parents, curriculum to meet the needs of all students, a new high school educational plan, and building an excellent programs at our library. The Charles River, Hardy Pond, Prospect Hill, 332 acres acquired for all to enjoy. New playgrounds and parks, city and school, programs at our senior center, and rec department. We have museums, culture, fine and performing arts, music, historic properties, societies, theaters, artists, service organizations, and of course we have our politics. What are people saying about Waltham? When I was first elected mayor, DEP said your water, sewer, and drains are aging and over capacity. EPA said you must clean the Charles River. National Grid said most of their gas lines need to be replaced. Master plans were made for the utilities. We fixed the sewer mains and the sewers in the neighborhoods, Years of work and millions of dollars spent. Water and drain work continue each year. Now DEP and EPA mandate phosphorus removal. National Grid replaces gas lines each year, and the city reconstructs those roads. Then the bridges, Beaver Street Bridge is done, Capella Road is in process. Other mayors can't believe we have no user fees, and we built 8 schools, new high school, parks, playgrounds, affordable housing, building restorations, and more without Proposition 2.5 overrides. Since 2004, the city received an annual award for excellence in the financial reporting of AA+. Monterey. Thank you.
I know you're all very excited, but if we're ever going to get out of here tonight, could you please hold your applause until the end of the code of event, so we can keep the questions coming. All right, the first question will be addressed to Mayor McCarthy. What is your vision for Waltham in the next 4 years?
First of all, I believe the completion of the educational plan for the Waltham High School is primary right now. We received $122.3 million from the state to build that plan, but that plan includes 14 career and vocational programs combined with the regular high school. So all of the kids, 1,830 students, will be within the same high school. This education will provide each student a world-class education, and they can choose whether they want to go to college, or they want to go into the military, or whether they want to have a trade. So this educational plan is considered the model for comprehensive high schools in the state. The state asked our permission to do that. So that's the first thing that I think we have to do. I think we also have to build more housing. We have been building affordable housing. I don't think we need more luxury housing. I think we need more affordable housing so that people can live here. We have taken schools and we have converted them into 19 apartments for seniors at Hardy School, and at Bank School, 24 affordable condos. We have at the 101 School Street, we're going to try to have, with the council's permission, to have housing over there. Additionally, we have a Cardinal Cottage that's being built for 2 units on Fernald and other Fernald properties, as I indicated, that we could use some of the buildings up there to do that. We can never get away from the infrastructure, because no matter what we do, for example, the more we build when we don't have the infrastructure, and that includes Eversource, the power grids in this city need to be looked into. I know that the state thought it was okay, but I don't think it's okay. The more we do, the more projects that they do, these need to be in check, and the city council has to have the developers pay their fair share as well.
Thank you. Councilor Pass, would you like me to reread the question?
Please.
Okay. What is your vision for Waltham in the next 4 years?
Thank you. I'm going to try to cover a lot of ground really quickly. I will start by agreeing with the mayor. I do think that we need to ensure that the opening of the new high school is a top priority. That also gives us an opportunity to reshuffle some of our schools. You know, we need a new dual language school. We need to make sure that we do right by our students, making sure that from the elementary track to the middle school, that we make sure that their performances are strong. From middle school to high school, that we don't have a drop-off in performance, which tends to be a repeated pattern. We'd love to make sure that we focus on the project-based learning, we have a STEM focus, and we also make sure that we have a new night school. In 4 years, we can already develop a new track for students to have an alternative pathway to graduation, cutting down on classroom sizes, and not punishing kids who work during the day, right? They can still graduate and work during the day, just go to class at night. I would love to make sure that we start beefing up our planning department. We talk about a robust planning department to make sure that we actually hire a new planning director. Also that hopefully we retain our new superintendent, whoever they may be. And we make sure that we attract and retain the best talent for our city. We have a high attrition rate, especially at the leadership level. I would love to start working to make sure that we make Waltham a more attractive city build up our reputation back up to make sure this is a place to work, not just a place to live, but the place to work, because the municipal, on the municipal side, you're always competing with the private sector. I want to close out on housing. We'd love to make sure that we actually start a robust planning process for whatever quality and inclusive housing. Our seniors need housing, but we can't just only have seniors-only housing plan, which is the only track record we have when it comes to housing. And I would also just like to end on aligning all of our farms. We've recently purchased a lot of land. It's beautiful, it's important, but we need to make sure that we have an agricultural production plan to make sure that we're feeding our students and feeding our families fresh food. Thank you.
Question 2. And I'll address this to Council Paz. What do you see as the most important issue facing Waltham? And how would you deal with this issue?
I think we have a real traffic issue in the city. We can cover a lot of ground, but I think an issue that intersects a lot of neighbors that had the privilege of talking to thousands of voters. I think that we can actually address a lot of our issues in terms of safety, in terms of efficiency, in terms of congestion, by actually prioritizing the modernization of our public transit system. My second resolution in the council was to create a new train station, because we only have a wooden platform next to a train track. We need to make sure that we're incentivizing people, if they don't have to drive to get in and out of the city or to get around town, we can actually get cars off the road and get people to also not have to depend on it all the time. There's amazing opportunities to also make sure that our businesses are part of the solution. The Business 128 Council has a shuttle. I don't see why we can't have a shuttle that goes maybe north-south, feeding into our downtown. Because again, we need to revitalize our downtown and make sure that our businesses are strong, but that we're also supporting them with residents who may not be able to get there quickly. I've talked a lot about synchronizing our traffic lights, something that could have happened 10, 15 years ago. Our traffic engineer, when I asked him, when was the last time we really upgraded some of these traffic control signals? He said, Councilor, we haven't in my time in the city. That's 16 years we really haven't synchronized and updated those, and by simply making them provide live feeds, we can actually not only get better data, but if you're standing in front of a red light and there isn't traffic, why should you just stand there, right? So these are basic fixes. There's no one silver bullet to traffic, but I do want to end on a quick note. The finishing the Wayside Rail Trail is a top priority. It's great that we've taken the first step, but we need to make sure that we actually complete it and not wait another 20, 30 years since its inception. We need to partner with the state to get that done. Thank you.
Mayor McCarthy.
I would say that the first thing is the traffic, and the traffic associated with development and getting people outside of a car. Right now, if you're on 128, you used to be able to go to 128 10 to 2. You could get on. You can't go on Route 95 at any time anymore. So we have been working for some time to try to bring a multimodal center to Jones Road. And what that would mean is that cars, bicycles, pedestrians, motor vehicles, buses, the 128 Business Council would have a hub. Right now, the city of Waltham only has train stations in the downtown and at Brandeis. Now, years ago, 50 years ago, there was a plan to elevate the rails on Moody Street. That never happened because the water table was too high. So we knew, where could we go? So 128. So if we can get people out of their cars and take public transportation to work, we believe that this will be not only good for the environment, it will be good for everyone. Because I think that when we get the multimodal center, then we can think about truly having a monorail that goes from Burlington to Waltham to Westwood Station. Burlington goes to Elway, Waltham goes to Fitchburg and North Station, and Westwood goes to South Station and New York City. If we have that hub. Now, one of the reasons why it wasn't considered, because the train at the Fitchburg line wasn't frequent enough. So the plan, we have been notified that MBTA is allowing this to go forward. So this is exciting news. because not only are they going to allow the multimodal center, which will have the connection from Green Street right from the highway, we are also going to be able to have the train run more frequently. They're going to have another freight train so that the trains can run more frequently between Waltham and Boston. Thank you.
And we'll start with the mayor. What is your vision for developing the Fernald property, and what could be accomplished in the next 4 years?
Okay. So when we acquired the Fernald in December 2017, it was 190 acres and 74 buildings. We have been able to take down about 24 buildings in what I call the nature area. And those 24 buildings were built over a wetland. So that wetland is a beautiful pond right now, and it has been restored to its natural condition. So we held many, many meetings in the community, and the rec department was given 115 acres of the 190 on the CPA side. So what the rec did is they came up with an architect, came up with a plan so that we would have a nature area, a memorial area, a universal area, a nature area, and an athletic area. That's for that part. Now, we've already done most of the nature area, the universal area, which will be the largest universal playground for universal in the Northeast. That has gone before the council. The memorial area, we worked with the Fernald Guardians to basically come up with something to honor the people, the Guardians, as well as the residents that were in Fernald. Now, with regard to the art area, there will be, the plan is to have a theater in the round that's fully accessible, and the athletic area would be interior. In addition, I believe that there are buildings on the side, Seguin, McDougal, Dalton buildings could be used for housing. I think housing for seniors, housing for families, and housing for veterans if possible. So we can also use this to clean up the site. The back of the site has always been close to a contaminated wetland. So we need to make sure that contaminated wetland is not part of this plan. But I think overall we have a plan to use not only the 45 acres, but also the 145 acres of the CPA side. And it's a very exciting plan. I'm happy to see it's going forward.
Thank you. Councilor Pat.
Thank you. There's a lot of ground to cover here, but I just want to start by saying my hope is that the Fernald, having 200 acres worth of land, I'm rounding up, I think it's important to think about it as a comprehensive approach to the Fernald that answers a lot of questions and a lot of needs in the city. It's a beautiful amount of space, but I think it's important to top of priority, make sure that we memorialize the injustices that happen there. That can take form in terms of a memorial, maybe something historical, talking about the history of folks with disability. I think it's important to talk about a little bit of the history of what's actually been happening with the Fernald. For almost 10 years, it's been kind of rotting in plain sight. And I think when we finally started the process, we've already had buildings that we could have done things with or preserved. And now we've spent almost as much money tearing down these buildings than we have actually restoring the land. That money actually, it's almost the same amount as we used to actually purchase the Fernald. But I wanted to talk about the need to not have an amusement park. I think we can have light recreation, we can actually have a walking path, we can make sure we preserve some of that space, have maybe housing. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I would restart the process, get the public's input, because when we started this process, we hired a consulting firm. That firm asked for input from the community and never followed back. The meeting that they had on the Fernald was last summer, wasn't well advertised, and the public never got to see it. All we're seeing is the end of a process. So I would love to see the Fernald be a lot of beautiful things, and I think I welcome the public to bring to get involved. But I would have a transparent and community-driven process. I just asked folks to visit the Medfield State Hospital. It's similar size, similar history, and it's already complete. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question will go first to Councilor Pattis. I love this question. The city has a problem with rodents. What more could the city of Waltham do to control or eliminate, eliminate the rodent problem?
As a Southsider, there's a rat that used to come by my backyard, and he used to kind of wave at me and say, "Hey, counselor," And he got so comfortable, I used to kind of have to scare him, because I was like, "What's wrong with you? You're supposed to be scared of me." But no, it's a real issue. It's been an issue for a long time. I think we need a comprehensive approach to the rat issue. We can't approach it piecemeal. We can't, put one little solution here and pretend it's going to solve the entire issue. I think that the council has been moving towards using birth control. We need electric boxes. It's a relatively small investment. Supposedly we ended the use of rodenticide, like using rat poison, but we need those electric boxes, not just because it's a more humane approach, an ethical approach, but also because it allows us to have data. It allows us to know where the hot spots are and also when to clean it up. But absolutely, I think we need to stop the poisoning of the natural prey, right? I had the horror of seeing a dead owl on the Charles River pathway. And that's supposed to be the predator of rodents. But we've been neglecting this issue for so long. 2 bald eagles have already passed. So it wouldn't take me, several TV interviews, on Boston 25 to address the issue, acknowledge the issue. And yes, we need to work with our partners, our small business owners in the downtown to make sure that they're doing their part in terms of securing their trash bins. I want to end on that note, since I have a short amount of time. We need universal trash bins. It's a very cost-effective approach. It would standardize how people dispose of their garbage, and would make sure that we're not feeding these rodents, right? We're taking a more preventative approach. So again, let's go comprehensive on the rodents. Let's not just piecemeal this or go after people, punishing them, which is the only thing we've done with the council. Thank you.
First of all, you have to eliminate the food source, and you have to try to prevent them from repopulating. The health department went out this year and leafleted the entire areas that they have had rat calls and asked them, please use barrels. It's the city ordinance that you have to use a barrel, and it has to be closed. You can't use plastic bags. So first they gave no fines at all. It was just basically an educational notice. They did that. Then they went out again and said, this time if you do that. So the plastic bags continue. I'm going to get to the solutions for that in a minute. But we don't use rodenticide. I went to a land trust meeting once, and there was a wonderful expert there, and she said, you shouldn't be using rodenticide for the impact on the environment. We agree. So traps we use, carbon dioxide we use, and those are the type of things that we do. The traps are good, but people have to go and replace them. But most importantly, if you look at the pre-baiting, when all of the things that are going, every time we have to do the infrastructure, the gas lines, all the building, they come out. So you need to get them at the source. So pre-baiting is the key. Pre-baiting with traps, so that they don't have a chance to run out of the trap, run out and repopulate. So we have a proposal. Mr. Chasen is right now counting. We don't want to go with the proposal to limit your trash, because one of the things that Waltham provides to everybody is that we have trash and we have trash pickup. But what we want to do is on the Monday and Friday routes, we are going to provide a trash barrel, and Mr. Chasen has money for it, to everybody there, so that we can try to get the rubbish barrels closed. And we think that that will help in addition to the education to stopping this. Thank you.
Now, you touched on this next question, so you'll have an opportunity to expand. And we will start with Mayor McCarthy. How could you improve the flow of traffic within Waltham?
Okay. Well, the first obvious way is to reduce the amount of traffic if you can. So if you get more people into public transportation, which is what we're trying to do, if we could get the multimodal center, then you'll reduce the traffic. But, for example, in New High School, they are going to synchronize Lake Street, new signals at the high school, and Taunton Pond Road. We just put in $1 million at the request of Mr. Garvin, and he's had money for a long time, to basically upgrade all of the areas that could receive this type of synchronization. And that, the council, I'm happy to say, approved that. Also, when you have these shortcuts, there's nothing worse than people having shortcuts. They come through and they get in the wrong place. So we have to have clear routes. And the clear routes can also allow us to have, for example, the rail trail. One of the reasons why I built the rail trail, and we are building it, and the council gave us the money for it, is it's not ours, because this would be an alternate means to get to and from work and school. So if we can connect the routes to the rail trail, the routes to the Riverwalk, and the routes in North Waltham, figure out what the east and west has already been determined by the rail trail and the design. And that exists because that was the central rail trail. Now if we can connect North Waltham and South Waltham, and in between, I believe that we will improve not only the flow of traffic, but we will reduce it, because people will be able to walk to work, bike to work, and it will be convenient to do. One of the things that, always troubles us is you sit in a light. So the synchronization, the state does our synchronization for Main Street. We would like a different synchronization, but unfortunately they mandate that time.
Thank you. Councilor Paz.
Thank you. I want to start with a story of my first effort in the city to cut down on traffic. One of my first resolutions that was approved in the council was for 2 modest bus shelters next to Carter Street, because a lot of people take the bus, the train there, they get rained on, snowed on. So at the start of the project, we got into the commission, very happy, very grateful. They funded the project. The project was roughly like $24,000, right? This was like 2020. For some reason, there was a lot of delay. I don't know why. But it came back to traffic engineer Garvin, had to come back to the traffic commission. And can anyone guess how much the project needed cost? Maybe 2 times more, right? Maybe 3 times. No, it now costs us $100,000 for those same bus shelters. And they still haven't been implemented, right? This is the pace at which we're addressing traffic. And so I would take it very seriously and move with more urgency, because seeing cars veer off into people's houses is very alarming. And we can't continue every day thinking that's business as usual. So my number 1 priority, let's have more than 1 traffic engineer for the entire city. I think we need more than 1 who's fully licensed and capable. But really, we need to promote public transit, ensure that we invest in a train station, partnering with our small businesses, maybe finding money in the state. We need to experiment with bike lanes, see where we can implement bike lanes that are safely detached from traffic. Our youth need it. We have professionals in the city who rather bike than drive a car. We should encourage that. If you want to drive, that's fine. But if people want to ride a bike, let's encourage that to get cars off the road. And I would also like to just talk about bus benches. We do have people who are physically impaired in the city, who are maybe disabled, and we need to respect their need to take the bus. So I would also encourage more bus benches.
Thank you. Now we'll do this is the final question, and we will start with Councilor Paz.
Final question?
Final question. Sorry, that's all they gave me. At this time, our official city meeting schedules are posted on a board outside City Hall. Several neighboring towns post detailed information about town meetings on their websites. How would you improve communication for residents in our city?
Thank you. Time flies when you're having fun. I think we need to modernize our city in a way that respects the fact that people in this day and age communicate digitally. I think that there's been too many meetings that have been posted on a board and some councilors didn't know. We need to make sure we're actively communicating with the public. I've had the pleasure of having a newsletter that goes out to thousands of residents in Waltham. I try to email people. I meet them where they're at. I think we need to make sure that we're advertising on the website, or revamping that website. If I'm mayor, we're keeping that website new. And also that we upgrade our email server in the city. It's hard to pull up archives. But, you know, communication is an act of trying. You try to meet people where they're at. So it's not just a website, it's going out to the people. Something that we need to work on is getting that good information to the public. I think that there are more than, you know, we're talking about meetings, but there's minutes, there's data, there's reports that should be publicized. People shouldn't have to go out of their way making public records requests for basic things in our city. Right now, I challenge anyone to look up our current capital planning process. Good luck finding it. You know, it's a reflection of us as a city, how much we trust our people. If we're willing to make it accessible to have this basic information, transparency shouldn't be a buzzword in campaign years. Transparency should be an active process when we're actively trying to serve you information. Not because it's politically expedient, but because this is how we develop a well-informed city. It behooves everybody to have good, proper information, proper notice. So you will see that board if I'm mayor, but you will see me over-communicate with the public to make sure that we're sending out emails, we're collecting and developing a real comprehensive email list, but we're also updating that website to make it more user-friendly. Thank you.
So the notices are done by the city clerk's office in conjunction with the other city departments. The city clerk's office reports to the city council. The IT department had a lot of citizens that came in and they updated the city's website. They used the citizens to do it. They had a good idea on how to update that website, and that was enacted. Additionally, they were going to have, they hired an IT person that's a web person that handles the website, and they wanted that originally to be in the mayor's office. And I said, I don't believe that the mayor should be in control or of having to determine what goes out or not. I think that should be in an independent department, and IT is the department. Now, Abby Hall does a wonderful job, but the clerk's office also does a wonderful job as well. They have an e-docket that people can sign up on, and you can attach whatever goes into the council goes there. In addition, you shouldn't have to go outside to go and see what a meeting is. You should be doing it on your computer at home. So that is the convenience. That's what the clerk's office does now. And when they get a docket, we have dockets that go in on Thursday to the council. So Representative Stanley, and he was a councilor at the time, said they used to just get paper copies. Representative Stanley says everybody has to get an email copy. So for example, the notices from the Traffic Commission that indicate why there was a delay with the bus shelters, that went out to all the councilors. And that's how it's done. So they make sure electronically this is all done. No matter what, we can always make things better. And I'm not saying that we're not. But I want you to understand that the mayor is not in charge of the city council, because I can't direct them what to do. It's up to the city council who administers the city council. That's a second
I thank the candidates on behalf of the league for coming tonight, and I thank the audience for coming tonight. This was a really wonderful audience. I'd also like to thank WCAC and for videoing all the debates, and they are available on the station, right? On the TV station.
WCAC.org.
WCAC.org. You can look at all of the three candidates' names. I would just like to further remind everybody that if you wish to vote and you haven't, and you want to vote by mail, for example. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. I am sorry. I didn't have that written in here. But I will finish this. You may request a vote by mail ballot from the city clerk's office no later than October 31st at 5 p.m. Now, I would like to have our candidates give their final remarks. You have 3 minutes each, and we will start with Mayor McCarthy.
Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you to the League and Watch for sponsoring. Now for the future. After all the press conferences, school committee, and city council meetings, someone has to do the work. I have been a worker and a doer all my life and an idea person. I'm the only elected official to have ever served in all three branches of city government: school committee, city council, and mayor. My experience also includes 7 years with the city's law department, representing all city departments, boards, commissions, and elected officials. 35 years of dedicated service to our city. The job of mayor includes running a $328 million municipal corporation with 30 departments and 1,750 employees. That includes a school budget of $105,709,717. That $105 million does not include the school employee benefits and the cost of building the new high school. A mayor is required to represent the whole city of Waltham and serve the public. A mayor must be able to withstand all criticism and work with all people. I have an open door policy. Executive, the job of a legislator, a city councilor, state rep, or a state senator is a legislative job, to make laws and pass budgets. Executive and legislative jobs are completely different. My eyes and heart are focused on City Hall and the city of Waltham and our people. Challenges ahead include implementation of the education plan for the new high school. With our permission, the state adopted our education plan as the model for comprehensive high school statewide. That model has 14 career or vocational technical programs, 10 existing and 4. They are incorporated within a traditional high school. We are building 2 schools within 1 building. All 1,830 students will finally be together with no prejudice. The high school is expected to open August 2024, and thereafter there are 10 to 12 months of audit work to be done with the MSBA to close out every aspect of the $122.3 million that we were able to secure for the project. Some other things we would like to work on: transportation, the new 117 bridge, the new multimodal center on Jones Road, the new Beaver Street Railroad crossing and sidewalks, traffic signals for Beaver and Warren, Maine, Gore, and Barber and Warren, and at the Veterans Rink. Traffic circulation concerns, safety for pedestrians, bicyclists, and motor vehicles. 190 Trapella Road. Implement the plan that was studied. And we had meetings upon meetings. Housing at 101 School Street. Complete the police station design. Begin the library building design. Infrastructure. We cannot keep building more and more without upgrading infrastructure. That includes the city and the utilities, but Eversource and National Grid. Developers must do their fair share with the highway bridges to develop those with the private money. Conditions must be included in any commission and city council. And I respectfully ask for your vote to continue this important work. Thank you.
I want to start my closing remarks with a quote from President John F. Kennedy, who wisely stated, "Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Whether you're struggling to make ends meet or happy with our city's current state, it's crucial to recognize what we hold in common. We all stand to gain from improved infrastructure, more competitive schools, and modern municipal services. Conforming to the status quo benefits no one. If you can take just one thing from tonight, remember this: the persistent challenges of our time cannot be overcome by a political establishment resting on its laurels. I repeat, conformity is the enemy of growth. Consider our education system. Why should we accept a mayor who understaffs our schools, resulting in them ranking in the bottom 10 percentile across the state? Why tolerate a mayor who kicks out a talented superintendent without a plan to replace them? Why settle for opening the state's most expensive high school without a real superintendent? We don't have to conform to this reality. Another example is city planning. Why should we submit to a mayor who allowed our traffic signals to deteriorate over 16 years, suddenly proposing a fix in an election year? Why bow to a mayor who neglected a city master plan for 16 years, but shows no interest during election, but shows a renewed interest during election year? Why endure someone who has funds for lavish parks but neglects basic necessities like heat for our municipal workers, including this building? My friends, this is not a time for conformity or complacency. Is it inconceivable that in a city of over 68,000 people, only one person is uniquely qualified to lead as mayor indefinitely? I cannot guarantee instant perfection, but I can assure you I will dedicate every ounce of my soul to steer our city in the right direction, to push it forward. As mayor, I will reintroduce transparency and collaboration to the mayor's office. I'll employ the most qualified individuals and empower them to excel. I won't threaten our nonprofit partners. I'll encourage them to do more for our city. Together, and only together, can we develop a master plan that centers the needs of the people over developers. A plan that centers traffic reduction, pedestrian safety, and public transit. A plan to invest in small businesses and create good-paying local jobs. A plan that ensures seniors can afford to remain in their homes and families can achieve the dream of home ownership. A plan to invest in our children and support our educators. We all want to see Waltham thrive and grow. We want to see this city live up to its full potential. Only together can we break free from conformity and chart a brighter, a more prosperous future for our beloved Waltham. My name is Jonathan Paz, and I hope to count on your support for mayor. Thank you.